back again with another episode of the Spitballin Podcast. It's your boy Chris and your boy Jason, the UFC savant, the UFC god, the one, the only Jason.
What up, G?
So, me and Jason have been wanting to do another podcast, obviously, because, other than us doing a podcast about the UFC, there's no other fucking real news going on, and my phone's going off at the wrong time. Perfect. There's no other news or anything going on with the UFC, so let's get into the reason me and you have gotten into a couple of theories, between us, but the people want to hear, what do you think's going on with the UFC? Like the zero buzz, no nothing of it.
Right. I think it's the fans. I think we put so much pressure on the UFC to deliver for UFC 300. UFC 300 is supposed to be like this blockbuster, mega, like this is their Super Bowl. You know what I mean? It only comes around every once in a while, and historically all the 00 events they've delivered 100, 200, and now 300. They got that. They got that pressure, that expectation on them, and they don't have the same stars that they had, back in 2016. Really? Or even 2010.
2016. Okay, I thought you were going to go. Damn, you're going back 13 years?
Bro.
Stars?
They don't have it. Think about it. That was when we had GSP, Anderson Silva. Conor McGregor was the double champ. Brother, it's been a while. Conor
was on UFC 200?
No.
No?
But I'm just saying, as far as star power, that's not the same level these days as it was back then. And I don't know if there's anybody to blame. It's just kind of the landscape right now, just how it turned out. Izzy's not the champ. Yeah. Izzy says he's going to take a 3-year break, which I think he's just kind of being funny. But
really? You think he's being funny?
Yeah, he's not going to take a 3-year break. He's like 33, 34 years old. 3 years is a death sentence to his career.
Especially in your 30s. In your 30s as a fighter, man,
we would know.
You know what's crazy? That I just say that? Yeah. That I just said that? Because I think, in your 30s as a fighter, you're done. But what other sport really 30s you're kind of thriving? I mean, well, maybe basketball, just because of, there's less, contact. But
soccer? How about soccer?
No, soccer's a young man's sport. Yeah. 30s is...
Okay. I guess I just consider soccer because it's a contact sport, but not.
No, it's not. It's not the contact. It's the endurance factor. The younger that you are, you're just going longer. Right. Not that. That's not to say that there's some greats that go on.
Obviously
Messi and them. But you watch some of the Messi clips. He'll be standing around a lot, which he earned that right. Yeah. But definitely, I was thinking, what sport in your 30s you're really doing it? Maybe basketball. But, there's some soccer in there.
Let's just say it. You heard it here first. Sports is a young man's game.
Yeah. We're breaking news right here.
So, but to what I'm saying, I just don't think that the UFC has the stars, like, to pull from the same way they did back on 100 or 200. And
I wonder if they shot themselves in the foot, like, last year, in the sense of like, hey, let's set up these fights so they could be ready for UFC 300. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wonder if there was any thoughts in those war rooms per se. Right. Like, hey, let's make sure we get this person in, before this time so they have time to recover. You think that stuff happens or?
Yeah, but that's why it's kind of unfair because they can't anticipate injuries or fighter emotions or manager relationships, and they can't predict or account for all these things. So it's a little bit unfair. I don't know, man. The UFC, our boy Ricky says, the MMA is dead.
For 2024, he's not wrong.
He's not wrong, but we're a month in, and
yeah.
We'll see, but I'm not loving it. The pressure for 300 to deliver makes sense because they've done nothing but deliver in the past. But right now they just don't have the crop to choose from like they did before.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't know whose fault that is. It's like we're expecting that Godzilla versus King Kong. And
every big fight card, you know. But we're talking about that the other day, where we just were saying that the UFC puts on way too many fights. It's almost to their own detriment. Like fuck, like we love it as fans, but at the same time, like I feel like this is the first time they ran into like this situation. You know, like. You know, you're always anticipating these big fights, and then they're not happening. I mean, the thing about, you know, other than Volk, I don't think that's a big card. 298, it's not the biggest card. You know, no one's really like, oh, I can't wait. It's just like Volk's fighting. You know, we all love Volk. But 299 is the one.
I don't know if you remember that. We didn't always.
We thought he was like a boring fighter, right?
And a try hard. He was like trying to drop these lines. But to your point,
But 290 and then 299, you know, the fights, I feel like the undercard fights are better than the main event in the sense of like the fight itself. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if Cheeto and Sean is like the best fight ever. See what I'm saying?
That's on that same card?
No, 299.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I got you. Yeah, you know, I don't really know off the top of my head what's on that card, but
let me fill in some time. And
yeah, I don't know where you were going with that necessarily, but it looks like 299 is definitely pulling some juice, some star power from what 300 should have been, could have been. I don't know, man. I don't know what they're thinking. Kind of circling back to where you started with this.
Okay, so
too many events, bro.
What I was saying is that the Sean O'Malley and Cheeto Vera fight isn't a great matchup or a great fight. We just want to watch because it's the beef between them. I think Sean's going to beat his ass. You see what I'm saying?
Got you.
But the undercard with Dustin Poirier, you know, that Michael Page, Kevin Holland, that's a great matchup.
That's nice.
You know? So what I'm saying is, like, there's not that great fight and animosity towards each other. You know what I'm saying? Or even the friend, like Dustin and McGregor, that wasn't no animosity, but it was, we knew it was going to be a banger. My point is that we're not starting off the year with saying that's going to be a great fucking main event. You know?
Right. And the big stain for me, at least, and I know a lot of, because people have started to adore Volk.
Yeah.
And then he tries to be Captain Save-A-Ho for UFC and fill in for Charles Oliveira against Islam, and then gets knocked out nasty. And we never seen him like that. You know, that definitely in fighting. It's like when you watch your favorite sports team get shut out, get manhandled, boat raced, however that you want to call it, but it hurts you, especially if you've never seen it. And then so we seen that in Volk, and for the first time, we're just like, it kind of breaks your heart. You're having trouble understanding it. And then now he's coming into this fight against Ilia Topuria, and kind of, you could say, fresh off a knockout. At least definitely you could say a fact that his last fight was resulted in a KO. He lost, and it was nasty. It was the first round. Looked like he shouldn't have even been here because he shouldn't have been in there.
Yeah.
And so I just feel like it's not fair that he's back in there. It's not smart.
So quick.
Doesn't make sense, man. It doesn't make sense. I don't know. What do you think, man? What do you think? Do you think that Islam and Volk should have had that fight? You think that Volk should have stepped in like that?
Man, it's because it's tough to say, you know, because as far as fighting goes, for me as a fan of the sport, I don't love it because I'm with you. Like, he would have had that fight, and it would have been bigger somewhere along, because I don't see nobody beating Volk at 145, you know? So it would have been bigger somewhere down the line. But at the same time, if Dana's, I mean, who knows how much he got paid for that, because they don't come out and say it. But if it's his big money, which obviously he took it within, what was it, 2 weeks notice, it's like,
Was it 10 days notice, I think?
I think so,
10
something like
days.
that. Like for him to make that weight, it's like regardless. I don't care if you like you were at 185, like 10 days not mentally not knowing that you're going to fight, like that's tough, you know?
Yep.
So I don't love it either for Volk and what it does to his like moxie, his you know, his aura. I don't love it, but I still think that, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if Islam.
Was it a good move or a bad move though? If you had
It
to
was. I
choose.
think if I had to choose, it was a bad move
Yeah.
on Volk's side. Now the UFC side, I think at first it was a great move, but now I think they're like, you know, because that would have been a great fight.
You could have in a way. Let's say he never fought there. He would have fought Ilya in January, probably won. Now, definitely people can make the argument that if Volk loses, it's because he was compromised from the last fight. It just ruins many storylines.
Yeah.
But anyways, let's say he goes in, fights in January, beats Ilya. He could have fought at 300. That would have been a great name. They could have had Islam and Volk at 300 for the rematch with the training camp.
Yeah.
Oh my God, man.
Let's see. So they haven't announced. They've announced most fights at UFC 300, right?
Just no main event.
But just not the main event, which is like weird. Like what are they doing there? You know?
I think that it's impossible to make us happy, dude. I don't think there's a main event
Yeah, I think
anywhere that they could draw up
Let's
that
see.
we'll be happy with.
So Bobby Green, Jim Miller, don't give a fuck. Jessica Andrade,
That's for the old heads, bro.
Marina Rodriguez, nobody cares. Diego Lopez, I'm excited to see him. He's been kind of
Who's he going against?
kind of killing it. I don't know who that guy is, but he's been on a little tear.
Yeah.
You know, it'll be cool just for the featherweight division. You know, I want to see him win. And then Holly Holm, Kayla Harrison is just a dark ass shadow.
Let's talk about that one.
But yeah, let's talk about that one.
All right, I'll start that off. For some people, that's a big, wonderful addition to
For the
card.
casuals.
I hate everything about that fight.
Yeah.
I hate that Kayla Harrison is coming in already with a stain on her name. You know, she's now suffered a MMA loss. I think she got a W. She redeemed herself. She had a comeback victory, but was underwhelming.
No knockout or no nothing.
I don't think there's a finish. And then now she's coming into, mind you, she fought at 155. Now she's coming into the UFC at 135. She's never made that weight in her life. This is a big broad, dude. She's big, man.
She's huge.
I keep hearing, was it you that said that Brock Lesnar's sister or something, you know? Brock
I didn't
Lesnar's
say
sister.
that. I'll take credit for
You
it.
know, or whatever. Somebody said it. Someone with a big nose. But so she's coming in, and, you know, she's on record. I don't make too much of this, but she's saying, you know, you'd have to cut off both my legs to make the weight.
Oh, yeah, I heard that.
And it's like, I know what she's talking about. Everybody gets it, but I'm like, just looking at her, you know, like, I don't need her to say that. Like, she's huge.
Yeah.
Now she's going to come in, debut at 135, something she's never done. You said against a dinosaur, a 40-something-year-old fighter who's already peaked. But her peak, you have to give credit where credit is due. She was the champ.
Yeah.
So
Twice, no? Or am I? Or she?
I don't know. I'm not that much of a UFC head, but maybe. But so that's what you got, right? That's the fight. The face of the PFL versus a former champion in the UFC who's 40 against the PFL face that is coming off of a loss and then an underwhelming comeback win. Debuting at 135. I don't love it. I don't love it. That fight.
You don't love it for who? For the UFC?
I don't think the fans are getting anything out of it. It's not going to tell us anything about Kayla. You said that. I heard this from you first. It's really Kayla versus the scale. Can she even make the weight? I don't know. I don't know if I like that. I feel like we're not going to really get to see what she's capable of. But then again, it's a huge testament to the fact that the 145 division is dead. Ricky, you want to talk about MMA is dead? The women's featherweight division is
Literally.
completely dead. Flatlined a long time ago. And you got Amanda Nunes parading around like she's this double champ, this phony double champ. Hasn't defended it in 3 years. It's like walking around with a dead body, acting like she did something.
Phony double champ. I don't get it. They should have just said, "Hey, give us that belt back." But it's obviously a PR move. Hey, we got a woman who's a double champ and she's a monster, and it's a for the casual, like, damn, she has 2 belts. How long she's been a champ? She's been a champ, So that's honestly, at the end of the day, me as some sort of not
transsexual,
yeah, some sort of like in the MMA sphere, not a diehard fan. I'm like, what the fuck is that? But a casual, which is unfortunately who the UFC is always trying to reel in.
Ricky.
Yeah, who the UFC is always trying to reel in. It is, but for us, we're like, fuck that,
It's just the wrong time. It's like the, maybe not the best example, and I don't want to act like I'm a boxing guy, but it's like when we got Pacquiao versus Mayweather. Wasn't the right time. The time had already passed.
You're talking about Kayla and Holly, or what are you talking about?
Kayla versus Holly, this is not the timing that it could have been, let's say. This should have already happened.
It should have happened.
When Pacquiao Mayweather happened, it was already like...
The Kayla stuff should have happened back when there was the first rumblings about it.
Yeah.
And before she wanted to get paid with PFL, right? Remember that?
I do remember that. I just remember something else, though, too. Like, something that should have happened that pisses... Dana White has been pissing me off, bro. Check this out. He's in the media thing, and they're asking him, now that they have an African champ, they're asking him, could we get a card in Africa? And he goes, yes, it's very possible. Something that we could work on. You had 3 African champs, and you didn't even fucking try. There was no rumors, no murmurs. You didn't even say the word Africa, and now you got this South African dude, a white man, living in Africa.
You had three guys,
bro.
You had Francis, Izzy, and
oh my God,
Kamaru. Imagine how big that would have been.
Amazing, man.
And you have it. What's so funny right there? You have it at the weight classes too, because it's 170, 185, and then heavyweight.
Big dog, man.
That's crazy.
But here comes this middleweight South African white guy. Nothing against white people. It's just, let's be honest. When you think African, you think of dark-skinned Africans. You don't think of these white dudes that grew up on the continent. Yeah, you don't think of these guys. I don't know, man. I don't know, dude. I just don't get it. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Fumbled. That's a fumbled opportunity.
Let's move on to, fumbled opportunity for sure. Davidson versus Cody.
Nah, you got to say it right, man.
Figgy versus Cody Garbrandt. Yeah. I think that's a great fight, dude.
I like it, and I could go on record here and now that for as long as that fight has kind of been rumored to be in talks for multiple years already, you've been a fan since the jump.
Yeah.
You've always loved that matchup. You've always thought that it should happen. It is here now.
It is here now.
We will see it. But again, I'm gonna be negative today, but it's a little bit past the time it should have happened.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Cody's been knocked out a few times.
Man, that's what I don't understand about Cody. Like, damn, man, you got knocked out once, but I mean, he got to win, and then he loses, and then he gets this most recent win, but it's like versus some guy, and you're just like, is Cody back? Because we seen Davidson at 125 versus the champion, and that's one of the greatest rivalries of all time, the greatest fights of all time, right there. Figgy versus Brandon Moreno. Man, that was an all-time classic fight. So
and they fought 4 times, no?
Yeah, we seen that fight go down. We seen how hard it was and how hard Davidson hit. So it's like, man, are you feeding Cody to the wolves? And is this it? Because if he doesn't win this, it's like, right?
If who doesn't win it?
Cody. Cause
yeah, I mean, I got Figgy to win it.
Yeah, because if Figgy wins, it's like, of course, right? If he loses, it's like, okay, well, you moved up to 135. Let's give you another fight, right? So, he has that excuse. So with Cody, it's like, dude, you gotta win this, man, and it would be cool to see him win. I think his losses humbled him, and he just seems like a different guy.
Imagine Figgy gets through Cody as he should. It kind of sucks. I like Cody.
Yeah.
I remember I seen him in person once. I'm working at this restaurant. I see him walking by. Dude is so good looking.
How
so
tall
good
is he?
looking.
Like
He's probably
5'6"?
like my height. Maybe
Really?
a couple inches shorter, max.
Wow.
But he's, just one of those guys you got to recognize that.
I thought the dude was like 5'6".
You cut me off, but that's all good. So, but if Figgy gets through Cody the way he should, then I would love to see Figgy versus Piotr Jan.
Ooh. I like that.
I would love that.
I like that.
Ooh.
I like that. He's on that card too. So you got Figgy, I got Figgy, but our heart says Cody, right?
Would love it.
Bo Nickel, Cody, Brundage. I don't fucking know, but obviously got Bo Nickel right there. Right?
Got him.
I like this one a lot. Calvin and Aljamain.
Yeah.
I like that one a lot.
Yep, I like it too.
I think it's a solid fight for the fans. It's like that thing that I was talking about with Cheeto and Sean, where you're like, I like the beef. I like the I don't like the matchup. With Calvin and Aljamain, I like the matchup, but I mean they don't got no beef.
There's no story.
Yeah, there's no story. So it's like, but I like the matchup. I like the matchup for both of them. Calvin coming up off his last fight, and then Aljamain coming off this one.
That's a fight that I've been kind of fantasizing about. Ever since Aljo started saying that he might move up. Aljo's big for 135. Everybody knows that. And Calvin's kind of he's a top 5 guy, caliber, but he doesn't seem like that guy that can be a champ, but he's definitely a stepping stone. He's a guy along the way. Mm-hmm. So it is a great first test for Aljo. We'll see if he looks properly sized that division. If he looks small, that'd be kind of interesting.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see how he comes in, right?
Yeah.
All right, moving on. We got. Oh, but who do you got?
For some reason, I got Calvin.
For some reason, we're in February and we're giving the fights on April of UFC. I think we just kind of got
because it's 300.
We we got stuck to it, and it is what it is. All right, Yuri versus
Alexander Rakic.
Rakic. I was gonna say Rakitic. He's a soccer player, but he is. Oh no, he's Serbian. He's not Croatian. I don't know much about the guy, but I got Yuri.
That's a really
what do you think?
Huge fight, especially for the European fans. For my white family out there, shout out. No, but that's actually a huge European fight for the fans. Like
for European fans,
both of those guys are huge draws for that area. Yuri definitely more on stateside. That's a given.
Yeah.
But Alexander was like the kind of like the boogeyman for a little bit there, and then I believe he tore his ACL. And he's been working his way back since. So he's coming off of his recovery. Hasn't fought in over a year. And then Yuri, he got finished by Peloton. You think that was a early stoppage?
No, I think that was pretty spot on. I don't hate it,
I guess I just would have liked to see the lights go out.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
And then after we got after that fight, we got Armin versus Oliveira. Charles Olives, as what's his name says, Dan Hooker. Charles Olives. I like that fight a lot, especially seeing Armin knock that dude out in 30 seconds or something like that.
Give the man his respect. He has a name.
What's his name?
Beneil
Dariush. Damn.
Dude.
He fucking fucked that fool up. I feel so bad for Beneil.
That was bad.
That was bad. That was horrible.
Poor Beneil, man.
Damn. You can't catch a break.
I didn't think it would go like that. I thought. But whatever. Fight game.
That's an interesting fight, dude. Charles versus Arman.
Yeah, I like it.
Sheesh.
I think
Now we're getting into it.
I like Charles in it, but I respect that dude Arman, and he's only like 27,
Yeah.
26, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Bodied up, but going against Charles, man, who's
A savvy vet.
got
at
that
this
dog
point.
in him.
Yeah, he got that.
God damn.
He
He's
got
a
that
dog,
dog
bro.
in him. So I got Charles. But I think most people do.
I got Charles, but barely.
Yeah.
I'll put it that way. That's
And
a good
after
matchup.
that, we're going to the most anticipated fight, Gaethje Holloway.
Yeah.
Which I told you I don't like that fight.
Right.
I don't care what it is. We've seen Max at 155 get obliterated. We've seen him just not be powerful enough, be fast enough for that weight class, just not be big enough, whatever it is, I just don't think he did anything then. And then coming up against the hardest hitting 155 or the guy with the best chin, I don't whatever you want to call it, also got that dog in him. He's gonna die in the center of the octagon, and you put him up against some guy that's kind of soft for 155. I'm sorry. I don't mean that like that. I don't mean it like soft because Max, you'll beat my ass. But I mean you're obviously smaller for 155 going up against Gaethje, and I got Gaethje on that. I'm sorry.
He deserves this fight just off his resume. I think Max deserves this shot. If this is what he wants, I think he should get it, fair or not. The way that we sick the wolves on Tony Ferguson, but you don't give Max Holloway, for me the current featherweight GOAT. You don't give him the shot when he gave Dustin the business at 155. He got dropped early. Don't get me wrong. I see that the power difference was stark, but he hung in there. He tagged up Dustin, and I can't stand the way Dustin wins sometimes, acting like he's big dog.
Yeah. He did that
brother,
to Dan Hooker.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Dude. Stop it. That's Ricky's boy. Makes sense.
Makes sense. All the sense.
Soft, phony bullshit. But I think, Max, you want this fight? Give it to him.
All right.
So I like it.
I like it.
And I believe Justin said that he didn't want the fight, but he's taking the fight. He's risking his number one title contention for the belt, but that's why we love Justin. He says yes.
Yeah.
So.
And I hope he's getting paid. I don't know how it works, but I hope when they do take these fights, they get paid for it. But I mean, if you sign a contract, they could stick to it. I don't know.
MMA, dude, it's as much as I love it, it's still a lot of taking advantage of the youth of the sport, where right now instead of offering money, the money's not the draw, it's just the opportunity. Like you have a chance to fight in the UFC. That's the draw, So these guys are getting paid, but you hope, you would like to see them get paid more, but for now it's just the opportunity. That's what I got to say on that, at least.
I like that take. And I don't want to get into the number one fight in that card, which is the Chinese dog fight.
The way Dana goes, the first ever Chinese versus Chinese. Like nobody cares about that.
People like Wei Li, but no one cares about the fight. No one cares.
Who is her opponent?
I don't know. Crickets.
It's something like Yan Xiaonan.
But
no disrespect.
No disrespect, yeah.
And I know our Chinese following is huge.
I wanted to see Wei Li versus Grasso. That would have been badass.
Yeah,
but
be cool.
You can't that's the thing I don't like about what Conor did. Like these guys, they think, "Oh, I'm going to win one fight and then I'm going to go up." Like, "Nah, man. Like defend it a couple times,
But at 300, that's 300-esque.
That's where you do it. Yeah, that's where you do it. And it has to make sense.
Like the fight that you liked, it's 300-esque. Poatan versus Aspinall.
Mm-hmm.
That's 300-esque. I don't love that fight. We've gone into that, but that is 300-esque. Those are those fights, those wild matchups that we would never thought of, dreamt of. Boom, here they are.
Don't make too much sense for the division.
Yeah, but you know what we're doing? we're getting a little crazy. Let's throw crazy.
We're playing
at
a
each
video
other.
game,
bro.
Yeah,
there it is.
yeah. We're playing a video game. But yeah, I like that. That is 300-esque, Grasso. I still don't understand why. I think she's hurt. I don't know, but why she wasn't. I don't think she's gonna be on the Mexico card. I think I saw somewhere that she's not gonna be on it. I forgot something to do with Mexico. Oh, when they go down to Mexico, she's not gonna be on that card.
Right. Yeah.
Moreno is.
She's gonna be at UFC Noche or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Mexican Independence.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, okay. So that's why.
Yeah.
Oh, so they're gonna put her again on that.
I don't know the gap between it.
Oh, okay.
But I know that's the plan.
Yeah, because they're gonna be in El DF. They're gonna be at I don't know what stadium it's gonna be at.
At the what?
DF. It's the Distrito Federal. Yeah. Why?
trying to get educated, man. That's all.
Yeah, no, they're gonna be in El DF as Distrito Federal, Mexico City.
Dope.
Yeah, so to me, the biggest Mexican star, it's a toss-up between Grasso and Moreno. I mean, you're going to have Moreno there, but who is he fighting? Who's he fighting? Is it Roybal?
Brandon Roybal.
Yeah, Roybal. He just came off that L.
Yeah, he don't get me going.
Yeah, me neither. I apologize.
And with a name like Raw Dog.
And
it's funny.
It's funny, but damn.
You don't get me going, brother.
But yeah, so we're just going to wait here for the main event of UFC 300. Could be Conor. It could be. I don't really give a fuck at this point, man.
Elon versus Zuck.
Yeah, we could have Elon versus Zuck. I don't really give a fuck at this point. Just give me something. Get me going. Because last year, they set the bar so high. 2023 was an epic UFC fucking year. And
a lot of new champs.
It's like you. Yeah, I was trying to make an analogy. Nothing happened there. So. We'll move on from the UFC. Shout out to the UFC for letting us make this content.
Yeah. Yep.
And so yeah, we'll put it there. We'll hopefully we could break down the Sean O'Malley card when it comes down to it, and we'll have Jason on here too, because I know people have said, "Where's Jason on the UFC?" Well, he's here now, but
because I've been working the events.
Yeah,
I'm in the war room.
To what's the word I'm looking for? To transition from that, he has his take on the 49ers run to the Super Bowl. I already had mine. You watched the episode prior to this, you will see what my take is on it. And Jason wants to come on here and bounce off his takes on the 49ers to me, which were pretty on lockstep with it, but the floor is yours, bro. Go ahead.
As a 49er fan, it's an interesting relationship that we have with Richard Sherman.
Yeah.
He was one of our greatest rivals for a long time.
Yeah.
Ultimately lands on the Niners at some point, which was interesting. I never expected it. I remember hearing the news, and you kind of, he's a baller, but
you don't expect it.
You don't want. You kind of like.
Usually, guys who were your rivals don't go to the rival team.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But there he was, and obviously you want him.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Old or not.
Anyways, but now here we are. He's on Undisputed, and man, he has the 49ers back. He believes in the team. He's a fan of the story, and what I want to share that he said is just so spot on, which if you're following football, the narrative around the 49ers and more specifically around Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, last pick of the draft, the Kohl's kid. He looks like he shops at Kohl's.
Kohl's kid.
They said that Richard Sherman said America loves an underdog story, just not this one. I don't know why people are so resistant to Brock Purdy's rise. They're so stuck on the fact that he has skill players around him, which you've said many times over, and it just because it works, it makes sense. What good team doesn't have skill players? Did Mahomes not have Tyreek? Did he not have Kelsey? What are we talking about? Did Jalen Hurts not have, help me out here,
AJ Brown
and
Devontae Smith. Yeah.
Sorry. I got stuck right there. But I don't get it. Joe Montana had Jerry Rice.
Yeah.
Steve Young had Jerry Rice, if we're keeping it in the franchise. These two quarterbacks, Super Bowl quarterbacks, common denominator right there, Jerry Rice. I don't know. I just, not my point. But everybody that goes all the way or gets in the playoffs, there's
has
talent.
good players around them.
It's the best guys or the best group of guys working best together. That's what happens. That's the name of the game. That's how this works.
That's why you sign these. That's why you build a team to get the best player. You think these franchises are like, hey, let's just get the worst players and try to figure it out.
Yeah.
Like, no, in baseball, these teams try to do it. Like the Oakland A's, like they said, okay, we're gonna go with the analytics. Like, we're gonna go with the analytics. What pitcher give us his numbers? Well, my point is they went to the bottom of the barrel guys and saw where their best efficiencies were and paid them really, really low. Yeah. And then they had a great team because of that. So there's no football team doing that is my point. Like these teams, they see talent, they try to get it cheap, obviously through the draft, but then they got to add people to their team. And luckily, we've had luck as a 49ers fans that we've drafted well.
Yeah.
So
truly, Fred Warner, Debo.
Really the only person
Bosa.
that we brought is like Trent Williams and
CMC baby
and Christian McCaffrey. So it's like, luckily for us, it's been homegrown. But look, when Christian McCaffrey came to our team, we were good, but it just brought it up that much a level. So to your point, it's like, what good teams who win a Super Bowl or go into Super Bowl runs don't have good players around the quarterback? Like, it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me that Ricky says shit like that. It's fucking annoying as hell. It's like, name a team that was bad that won the Super Bowl. Like they had a good quarterback, two good skill players, and then two guys on defense that had some sort of cachet or leadership or whatever the case may be. You go back to the fucking Broncos that they had what's his name?
Peyton?
Yeah, at quarterback, but he was a linebacker. Fuck, what's his name? Forgot his fucking name. But anyways, my point is that every team that goes to the Super Bowl, to add to Jason, I fucking hijacked his point.
All good, man. You add into it.
Every team that goes to the Super Bowl has good key players. Ricky likes to say, "You're so stacked."
Yeah.
Like,
that's the plan.
Okay, let's name our good players. Debo. No particular order. Debo, Kittle, Trent Williams, Brock Purdy, Ayuk, Christian McCaffrey. I'm at 6. And those are the notable names, right? Notable names that first come to your head on offense, right? And we're not going, Jawan Jennings should be a starter somewhere. Yeah. Honestly, if we lose him next year, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. We got Kyle Juszczyk, who's just a staple there too. How many fullbacks are in the league? Really? And then we'll go to defense. We got Chase Young, who hasn't really done much.
There's a play that's going around about him right now. 49er fans are hot.
Where he's like nonchalant. Yeah. I think I know what you're talking about. Chase Young, I mean, he was really good in the Redskins. We got Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, but my point about naming all these players, like, we got good players. That's why we're in the Super Bowl. That's why we won for the past 4 or 5 years, been in the playoffs, been in positions to win, man. It just doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. You're in the playoffs because you got good teams. You got good players. You're Brock Purdy is good because there's other good players around him. Yeah, no shit.
And what is the most important position across all sports?
Quarterback.
Quarterback, man. He may not be skill for skill the greatest player on the team, but the quarterback in any franchise is the most important. The most valuable, just off the simple fact that he touches the ball every single play. He's the one making decisions. He's the one quarterbacking everything. He's the one deciding which way we go, what kind of plays or changes we're making. Like, come on, guys, what are we talking about? Of course he's important. Of course he's valuable. How is he not?
Yeah.
How is he not? He's breaking records. Ricky the phony V. Ricky says to me, he says, Brock's numbers are padded. They're padded. First off, Ricky don't care about stats, I thought.
Yeah, I thought.
But until it's convenient. But then again, let's talk the stats, because I'm a fan of the stats and I'm a fan of what you see on tape, because it takes both to know the whole story. Idiot. Ricky, you're an idiot. So check it out.
Dude, I killed him on my last pod.
The stats are padded. The stats are padded. But he breaks the record, sets the NFL record, taking 4 players over 1,000 yards each. He's over 4,000 himself. Never been done before.
Uh-huh.
All he's done is make Brandon Ayuk have the greatest season of his life. The greatest season of his life. All he's done is bring the best out of Christian McCaffrey. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
It's just all you know, it's just everyone makes each other better. That's what I'm saying. Like I'm gonna get ahead of myself here, but that's why I got the Niners taking it all. I just feel like they're the better team overall.
I think everybody agrees with that. And what does make me nervous, though, is sometimes we play out of sync.
Yeah.
And that makes me feel funny. And I've been feeling funny for these last 2
like I told
games.
you, I'm going to take Sanu from the
Sanaz.
No, Sanu from the Falcons.
I bet.
Remember that thing I was telling you the other day where he's like, they got Tom Brady, though.
Yep.
You know? So I got the Niners ahead of – I'm going to go ahead of myself, and we're going to do recap on the breakdown on, you know, why we're taking each team, which I'm assuming I don't know. I think he's going to take the Niners. But,
I got the Raiders.
But, you know, I'm going to say they got Pat Mahomes, though.
They got Patty, though.
You know, they got Pat Mahomes, dad bod and all. Damn, man, that boy is nice. That boy is nice.
Yep.
But yeah, Brock Purdy, man, just put some. All we're asking, we're not saying he's Lamar Jackson. We obviously know he's more talented than him. We're not saying he's Josh Allen. We're not saying he's these big guys that have a fucking arm, throw it 100 yards. But we are saying he's good.
He's winning.
He's better than a game manager. I've watched him play. Like don't tell me that the runs he had versus Green Bay and the Lions weren't game-changing plays. Like any other quarterback that's a tier below him, Kirk Cousins, in my opinion, Jared Goff, they don't make those runs. Right. And you change the game by making those runs, and he did.
And I'll say, I didn't even know little Brocky could do that.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, too. Appreciate what you're seeing. We don't even know what this kid is capable of yet. I don't know if it's dawning on everybody. Hello. He's a year 2 QB.
Yeah.
You know who else made it to the Super Bowl year 2? Patty Mahomes. All I'm saying is, look at where the way this is trending. We don't know how the story ends. We don't know how Pat Mahomes' story ends. We have the advantage of hindsight looking back at Tom Brady and Pat Mahomes for what they've already done. I'm not comparing what Pat Mahomes or Brady or Montana, these guys have already done, to what Brock Purdy has done in 2 years. It's not fair. It doesn't make sense. How are you going to compare a 20-year career to a year 2 QB, you know, or a 8-year vet, I think, in Mahomes I think 6 years to 2. That's a world of difference.
Yeah,
you got 3 times the experience.
We're talking dog years in any sports.
Come
too,
on, man.
Know?
I don't get it. I don't get the comparison. All I know is if you watch the tape, you follow the numbers, he's performing, and what's even crazier is he was the last pick of the draft. Mm-hmm. Mr. Irrelevant. Nobody's supposed to care about this dude. He's supposed to be a nobody. He's supposed to just be we got to use the pick anyways, kind of a deal. And now he's thriving. Why can't you just appreciate the story? Ricky drags his feet, moves the goalpost. You know, he flings shit this way, that way, whatever he can get you with. He moves his points here, moves his points there, and it never gets us anywhere. I said it to you the other day. If Ricky was an airline, I'd never fly with him because we'd never land anywhere. I want to get somewhere. I don't want to just be flying. Like, take me somewhere. Let's go. I want to get off. I want to enjoy what you just said. Take me somewhere. Let's land. Yeah. Come on. But first you go, oh, well, his numbers are padded, or well, he's got these he's got skill players, or he's not this guy. I'm all out of juice with you, Ricky. I got nothing for you. Just watch us in the Super Bowl. Tune in, man. Go Niners. I'm sick of it.
Tune in. I'm sick. You make me sick to my stomach, Ricky. You make me sick, man. We've had enough of your bullshit.
Bro, I'm sweating.
And Ricky, you're gonna have a chance for your redemption here. Yesterday I talked to him. He wants to be on the pod again. He wants to bring up his points, and they'll be received. And hopefully one day we can have a three-way podcast with me, Jason, and Ricardo on. So and the thing is, like, about people that have takes like Ricky, like, I know he's not alone, but it's like he said, like, let's start somewhere and finish. Don't just start slinging shit. Don't just start slinging shit.
The big critique on Purdy, which is fair. Because just like I said a minute ago, I didn't even know that he had a little bit of the scramble skills in him like that to go pick up 15, 10, get a first down off however many yards he needed. I didn't know he could do that. Here he is doing it. We don't know what he's capable of, but guess what? This man, these last two games has led the team in these in comebacks that we thought Shanahan wasn't capable of.
Yeah.
Here comes... they talk about the success that Shanahan's had with other quarterbacks. Yet the first QB that's finally here to get Shanahan a comeback victory in the second half in the fourth quarter is little old Brocky Purdy, Glock Purdy, man. Come on. Where's the love and respect and the credit to that? What are we doing?
Just give him respect for all the kid has done is win. Four wins in a playoffs. I think he's only lost, how many games we lose this season? 4?
5, I believe.
5?
12
4 or 5. And then last season we lost around the same thing, give or take 8, 10 or whatever. And he's won 20-something games. Like, come on, man. And in 2 seasons, that's freaking crazy, man.
He's never lost a playoff game
that he started
and finished in.
Yep. So put that in your pipe and smoke it, Ricky, and everybody else who thinks like Ricky.
Come on, man.
Bang, bang.
Come on, man.
So I think we're going to end it right there. We got 45 minutes into the pod. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for supporting. Thanks for liking. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for all the DMs of everybody, like I say all the time, that come in and tell me, hey, do it. We're here again with my guy Jason. Broke down UFC 300, broke down the Niners, broke down Brock Purdy, broke down Ricky, and we're going to end it right there. You got anything else to say?
That's it. I'm done.
All right.
And I'm especially done with Ricky. I got nothing for him.
Bang, bang. Niner gang. Baby. Peace.